Right, here we are, April 8th, 2025. And Spoken World Online, it's week number 263. Every week since March 16th, 2020. Hello, everybody, and thank you, as always, David. Can't tell you how much I appreciate this show and the community that you bring together each week. And Michael Sindler rocks. I'm going to read a piece today, another piece from the Roarshock page, and I put a link to the text in the chat if anybody wants to read along. This is one of my California street sketches. It's called April Fools. On April 1st, in the darkness before dawn, A stood in the deep shadows in Lafayette Park, waiting for the first outbound one California trolley bus of the day. There were calls and chirps from the early birds out seeking worms. Something scurried across a park path which divided beds of bushes. As A peered into the dim space, it scurried back across the path break and vanished again in bushes, some small gangly creature with long limbs, not a rat or a mouse, not a cat. He could not identify what it was. The city was full of strange animals, feral and wild, and some years the veneer of civilization seemed a bit thin. Suddenly the songbirds dummied up as from the heights above, from the tall trees at the top of the park, came the hoo of the boss owl who was dominant in that local link in the global food chain. Seeing the lights from the one, A stepped down onto the sidewalk and the bus stop in the middle of the park on the Sacramento Street side. He boarded the nearly empty coach, swiped his unregistered fare card, and settled into a seat. He exited at the gym on California Street and worked out for a couple of hours on weight machines and a rowing machine. He especially liked rowing and imagined scenarios of the virtual meteors he crossed, pulling at the oars. His dad had always been an athlete playing various sports like soccer and afternoon pickup games in Oakland. His father had rowed competitively in whaleboat races. A one time walked down to the tip of the municipal pier at Aquatic Park, which was the finish line of a whaleboat race from Alcatraz Island. It was an exceptionally hot afternoon. He watched the boats come in. Dad was in the third boat through. After the race, there was a party on the green at the end of Van Ness. The city's premier local brewery, Anchor Steam, had a team in the race and they brought kegs. It was a great party. A young man who worked for his father, said to A, your dad has a really good memory. After the workout, he enjoyed meditation in the hot sauna and then the steam and emerged from the gym fresh and famished. The three-line trolley bus took him back downtown. He got off at Union Square and went on down to Gary to Lefty O'Doul's for some breakfast. Ham and eggs over easy with fried potatoes and wheat toast, plus a glass of water. Two of the house signature Bloody Marys, and a bottomless cup of black coffee. So many memories for A of this Union Square area that went back all the way to his childhood and coming into the city with his mom and grandma to see holiday decorations and festivities. He had less clear, hazy, haloed memories of popping into the Gold Dust Lounge around the corner very late for a nightcap while a band of old dudes played funky old tunes. Another great anchor memory was being in the big department store as an adult with his grandma who raced from aisle to aisle while he followed her red coat as best he could, leading his aged grandpa, who was nearly blind and deaf, and daughter, little Bee, who was quite young. After this, they retired to Lefty O'Doul's for a refreshment, and Grandpa's hair nearly curled at the first sip of his draft Anchor Christmas Ale. Grandma, and AA went through the food line, and little Bee was left alone with her great grandpa in that corner booth over there. She had been scared of the old man, which caused him distress. But on that occasion, they bonded. After a long breakfast, it was an easy walk down to the start of Market Street, California Street, and the Ferry Building, where he could see by the clock that it was just a bit before noon. AA could hear the bonging of bells, honking of horns, banging of drums before he turned into Justin Herman Plaza, where large numbers of weirdos were gathering. San Francisco had always collected eccentrics from all directions, and this group informed the oldest counterculture traditions of the city, and thus of the universe. This local April 1st tradition dated from the late 1970s as a parade around the cough, cough, serious institutions of society, which were laughed at and mocked. And it was called, drumroll, the St. Stupid's Day Parade. So here were gathered in all their finery an elite corps of strange Bay Area people with signs. There was even a guy there impersonating Emperor Norton. The crack of noon struck on the ferry building clock. Old spiels were recited and everyone reminded of the unwritten rule. What was that again? We'll have to get back to you on that one. And the parade commenced through the streets of San Francisco to the sacred stations of stupidity to perform the necessary rituals. The parade sponsors, the First Church of the Last Laugh, claimed to be the world's fastest growing snack religion. You might already be a member. With 150% less dogma. Wait, how could that be? How could 5 out of 4 people be wrong? The church had only one holy day a year, and this was it. The first stop was outside the Federal Reserve Bank, where revelers returned the previous year's losing lottery tickets. You want to get rich? Play the lottery. And when you win, give a ninth to the church. We undercut the competition, which wants a tenth, amid chants of go back to work and no more chanting. If it was a leap year, there might also be chants demanding 4 more beers. The parade rolled on to the second station, the Tomb of Stupid, appropriately located in the plaza at 101 California Street. The door of the tomb was given a good knock every time. But so far, St. Stupid has never answered. And man, if he opens that door one of these years, weirdos are gonna shit. Onward, the parade to Battery and Market and the statue of the bare butt mechanics. At this station, the lug nuts that keep old San Francisco connected to fill dirt San Francisco were tightened and then tested by making a leap of faith. All good. The parade continued to the Sunken Hollow for mandatory parade rest, union mandated, and the recitation of hymns, hers, and its. The fifth station of stupid being the old sock exchange at Sansom and Pine. Ever since the old Temple of Finance was converted to a gym, it was also known laughingly as the Jock Exchange. Chortle. The parade continued up to California and Kearney, and perhaps the most sinister station, the Black Banker's Heart. The crowd marched around this obsidian heart, everyone going the wrong way, and then in a crescendo let fly their few remaining pennies, which bounced satisfactorily off the heart. As the crowd flowed away back down California Street, ancient Chinese grandmas moved in to collect the pennies. The parade concluded back at Justin Herman Plaza with the recitation of the closing rituals, all in attendance, having concluded their religious obligation for the year. They were reminded to return to that spot the following year, unless April 1st was a Saturday or Sunday, in which case the parade would begin at the Pointy Building, Pyramid Building, and continue up Columbus past other shrines of stupidity, like the Church of Scientology and the Ghost of Clown Alley, and conclude with a great party either in Washington Square Park or Joe DiMaggio Playground. A full year to prepare and be ready to appear again at the parade start, with knowledge that next year, of course, would be the next to the last parade, because this just concluded was the last one. Thanks.